Hello Libra, welcome to Peach on Earth Tarot. I'm here to do a reading for, I'm going to say October. It's really whenever it applies to your life, if it applies to your life. All are welcome here. All that I ask is that if you are here watching this reading, that you come with good intentions for yourself and for others. Okay, I'm going to be doing things a little bit differently this week. Normally I pick out like 4 to 6 decks and I do each reading with those decks. So I did pick out decks, but they gave me 10 decks and that's just too many cards to pull for each sign. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of choosing from those 10 for each individual reading. And so I'll introduce the decks as I use them throughout each reading instead of just doing the intro that like I normally do. So Libra, when I was getting into your energy, I was, the message they gave me first was about grounding things. So, and they specifically gave me the, when I say they, I just mean, you know, what intuition, guides, the universe, whatever you want to call it. So what they were giving me first was that it was like you're supposed to take something from the heavens, bring it down through your body, like, you know, cascading it down all of your chakras and then down into the earth. And so you're supposed to bring this energy from the heavens and just ground it into the earth, and that allows for manifestation. So you might be really in a manifestation mode right now. It says your dream, your manifestation, bring it from the heavens through your body and then anchor it into Mother Gaia. And then they told me to listen to a song. So the song I got for you was Dark Side of the Moon by, not Pink Floyd, by Chris Staples is his name. And it was quite interesting because in the beginning of the song, he talks about how, you know, we as people are cycles. We come in and we replace someone else, and then when we leave, other people replace us. That happens all throughout our lives, whether it be in jobs or in relationships or in homes even, you know, like you move into a home and there's probably been other people that have lived there before. And you move out of a home and there will be another person there when you leave. And so it's quite interesting because he was talking about how because we are that way, while it sounds a little depressing, it's more about, you know, taking that information and using it as intentional living. You know, we're here for a short time and life will go on just as it has before, and it'll go on after we leave. And so we have to, when we are here, the short amount of time that we get here, whether you believe in reincarnation or you know, the Matrix or whatever you believe in, heaven, earth, or heaven and hell. I don't know why I said heaven, earth. Maybe you think earth is hell. But it's a way to live with intention, to have that knowledge that it's short. And so also another message they gave me with that song title was about Black Moon Lilith. And so you could possibly have your Lilith and Libra, since it was coming up very, very heavily. So what Lilith is in astrology is the point in the sky where when the moon orbits the earth, it is the furthest from the earth, and that changes about every 9 months. So even if the moon isn't at that point, it's still, that is where your Lilith is that point. So you could have your Lilith and Libra, and what Lilith represents in astrology is, well, Lilith herself, was supposedly the devil's right-hand woman or whatever. And so she represents, and you know, according to some lore, she was Adam's first wife, but she just couldn't be contained, and so she was cast out of the Garden of Eden. And so it's like, and even, you know, Eve rebelled as well, so it's like maybe we just weren't meant to be contained as women, you know. And it's funny because Lilith also represents our desires, our sexuality, and that's interesting. And then with Eve and everything that happened with Eve, it's almost like women have always been told that they are bad for their sexuality, and they aren't. They're just who they are. But from the beginning of time, we've been cast aside if we explored our sexuality. And so it's all about learning how to embrace that darkness, as they would say, about ourselves, our sexuality. And with that comes vulnerability. And with that, when you live intentionally, you become vulnerable. And so I really feel like those two ideas are tied together about how, you know, it's all about the cycles too, about, you know, we will replace someone else and we will be replaced when we leave. And it's almost like that started with Lilith, right? Like she was replaced with Eve because she didn't line up with the ideals of whoever. And so it's quite interesting. And so I looked up Lilith in Libra, because this is a Libra reading and she was coming in so strongly. And so Lilith in Libra, it's on a more light aspect, is you can be charming, you love beautiful things, you love luxury, people can look at you like a muse oftentimes. And then in the shadow energy, it was like you can be scheming and seductive and maybe have a lot of karmic relationships, and you want to have your cake and eat it too. And so what that is to me is we need to learn how to look at those shadow attributes and learn how to make, or, you know, it's like you don't even have to make them into light attributes. It's just embracing who we are as people. Lilith embraced herself fully, and that's why she was cast out. And so sometimes in our life, when we do embrace ourselves fully, we can be cast out because we don't align with other people's thoughts and ideas. So it's been 8 minutes, so I should probably start pulling some cards. Let's see what I'm gonna use first. You know, okay, so they're wanting me to use the Witch's Oracle, and I am getting really strong feminine energy, and you don't have to necessarily be a woman or even a feminine energy. What that can mean is just like, this is the feminine aspect of our personalities, because we all have both in us, the balance of both, or they're supposed to be balanced, not always balanced. So, okay, let's go ahead. Oh, look, and then Moon's on the bottom here before I start shuffling, because, you know, the Black Moon Lilith is all about the moon and the, you know, mystery and intrigue. What is the energy for Libra, please, with the Witch's Oracle? What is the energy for Libra, please? I really love this Witch's Oracle. There's cards. I don't know if you heard that. My kid was yelling at me for something. Not actually, she didn't need something from me. She was telling me what she was doing. Anyway, so let's see here. Libra. What's the energy for Libra? What's the energy for Libra, please? Oh, goodness. Okay, so that's a lot of cards. This one is by itself. Joy Harjo or Haro. I'm not sure how you say it, but it says bravery. And that's what we're talking about here, is learning how to be brave, learning how to live with intention is being brave. It's really, really difficult to be vulnerable, to be ourselves out in the world. It's very difficult. And hang on, I just want to see here. Yeah, I don't think these are much, but I am going to take the one that was on top here with the knife, because I feel like, so I don't know if you guys have ever watched Lucifer, but in that show there's a character called Mazikeen, and she is a demon that's living on Earth, and her mother is Lilith. And Mazikeen on the show loves knives. She always has knives with her. You know, like blades forged in hell. And so I really felt that that was kind of appropriate with the talking about Lilith here. If you haven't watched Lucifer, it's really, really good. Knife. Intention, conflict, resolution. Intention. Oh my gosh. So when you live with intention, it's bravery. I can't believe these cards are out here. I can't believe it. Actually, you know, I'm going to look at Joy too, because I like to read their little profiles here that they have in here. So brave, she's crazy. See, and that's the thing, is we're told when we're brave that we're crazy. We're acting crazy. And that's just not cool, man. Not cool. She survived an oppressive childhood, teenage pregnancy, and domestic abuse before becoming a spiritually charged poet of wild natural imagery and urgent social activism, as well as an award-winning saxophone player and singer. That's so funny too, because in Lucifer there's an episode where it's all about Lilith, and she is like a jazz singer in the episode. So that's just so funny. And you know, so it's like she suffered with teenage pregnancy and abuse, and that is kind of like a Lilith energy. And oh, and it said that it's a Navajo name, right? Is that what it said? Navajo name? Oh, no. I'm so sorry. It's a common, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll just show you guys, because I don't know how to pronounce that. Right there. It means Creek Nation name. So brave, she's crazy. I love that. I love this energy. Okay. And then what does hedgehog mean? Because we have hedgehog on the bottom as well. Vulnerability. Oh my gosh. So this is intention and this is vulnerability. Can you believe that? Vulnerability, hiding the heart, tenderness. Oh, you guys, this is so beautiful. It's like, you know, this is kind of a message that I got the other day, is we think that in order to receive love, we have to be perfect. And the message was that we don't, actually this came up in the, I did a Pisces redo video, and it came up in that reading, which I'm putting out right before yours, where we're told, or we feel like we have to be perfect in order to be loved, and it's just not true. We want to always keep being better. We always want to keep striving to be better, but the bad bits about us are also lovable. And the right people will love those bits about us. You don't have to be perfect to be in a relationship. You don't have to be perfect to get what you deserve. You just have to live with that intention and that bravery and that vulnerability. Okay, we're already 15 minutes in and I have hardly any cards out. Okay, let's see, what is next? Okay, next we are going to be using 78 Doors. Now, 78 Doors is a very, very unique deck. To be honest, I have not used it in very many readings because I didn't quite understand it. And I'm really actually kind of happy, and you'll see once some of the cards come out, they don't have the typical meanings of like the tarot that, you know, we all know. I mean, some of them do, but they're very, very almost odd and interesting, and I think I was never comfortable with them, so I'm really happy that the Libra energy called me to use them, because to me Libra represents kind of like a uniqueness, and I think all air energy to me kind of represents that. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and start using the 78 Doors Tarot. The Fool flipped but went back in. Okay. Can I get clarification for Libra, please? Okay, let's see here. So we have the Chariot on the bottom. Okay, so this is fun. This is an example of what the cards are like. Oh, 6 of Wands, so that's good too. More forward movement, celebration. Okay, so we have the 5 of Swords. So we have sword energy here as well. Now I am going to read it as the 5 of Swords, but I'm getting that since there is a knife here, that it's supposed to be meant to be like almost added together to make 6 of Swords. So you can, I think in October it's going to be like you're moving from the 5 of Swords to the 6 of Swords. So the 5 of Swords typically means selfishness, keeping things to yourself. Not necessarily you, it could be you or someone around you. But that is the typical meaning. Okay, but here it says disheartenment when facing a problem wrongly believed to be insurmountable. So, you know, maybe this does feel like it's insurmountable, right? That there's just been too much. It's too much, you know, with this Joy Harjo. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. I should have looked it up. But, you know, she went through so much. And it seems insurmountable, but she turned it into something. She followed her heart instead of listening to what all those people in her past told her. You know, she decided to be brave. And it's like they're telling me you're supposed to like stand up and walk in to your truth, like behind this door, because there's all this greenery growing over the door. Like it's about to be hidden. But you need to stand up and walk through it. Walk in through to your truth. And then with this Chariot on the bottom, that is really, really good energy because it's forward movement. Now that might be a little dangerous there, but oh, you know what they just said? They said something about a muse. Like when you're in this energy, you get to be a muse. But, and I like that the 6 is under here too, because the 6 showed itself earlier. And this card, once you walk through the door, you walk in to celebration, to people celebrating you. Like these people they're standing up and clapping and applauding and waving at you and welcoming you in. And it's just on the other side here. You just have to stand up and open it. You know, they're telling me, this is so interesting. This knob kind of looks like it's broken. I don't know if you can see that here. Because it's like face down, or it's like pointing down, and normally they would be like out to the side. And so it's like the knob is broken. And they're telling me that you need to take the knife and pick the lock. And that's kind of like that Lilith energy, a little bit of rebel energy. You need to just embrace it. You need to embrace something about yourself that you have never been able to embrace before. And instead of trying to make it better, in order to make something better, we have to embrace it. We have to love it in order to make it better. That is like a manifestation rule, I think. I mean, I don't know if it's technically a manifestation rule, but it's, well, yeah, it's like, in order, if you want to heal something fully, you actually have to learn to love it. Okay, so I want to get clarification about what you actually need to learn to love. What do you need to learn to love? Okay, so they want me to use the spells deck to find out what you are supposed to embrace here. But just one moment, please. Okay, sorry about that. My kid's doing remote learning, and we're having internet problems today, so she's using a hotspot and she couldn't get it to connect, so I had to go help her there. So they wanted me to use the spells deck for the clarification for what you should be embracing about yourself, okay? Thought for sure they'd give me another tarot deck, but they wanted me to use these, so we'll see what they have to say. What does Libra need to embrace? What does Libra need to embrace? What does Libra need to embrace? Can I get clarification from this Five of Swords for Libra, please? You know what they just showed me too with this Chariot card? That I said you need to stand up. And now this person is standing up in almost an impossible way in a car that's moving. Oh, wait. No, I thought maybe the car had a flat tire, but it doesn't. And they're also being celebrated, like in the Six of Wands. They're being celebrated. Okay, what does Libra need to embrace? Can I get clarification for this Five of Swords, please, for Libra? You know, honestly, like they're telling me it's like a sexuality thing. It's almost like you need to embrace something about your sexuality. Artemis kind of popped out, but it like didn't fully pop out. It just kind of like showed itself to me. Artemis, which is all about like honing in, and you know, she sets her targets. She sets her eyes or her arrow on a target. An arrow makes me think of a knife as well. Okay. Clarification for the Five of Swords for Libra, please. So we have initiation on the bottom. The rite of passage, dedicating oneself to witchcraft, should be performed anytime after a year and a day of active practice. And that's interesting. So maybe it's like you're supposed to be doing something for a year and a day. Or you have been doing something for a year and a day. That's interesting. Okay, but you got B. A buzzing bee represents abundance, community, and sweetness of life. Bees are hard workers collaborating as a team to produce honey, and they're telling me hive mind. This actually came up for me. Again, I saw something about bees and how it's obviously we all know that bees are a hive mind, or a hive collective, where they all revolve around the queen. That's interesting because I'm getting the feminine energy, the queen. When the queen goes, all the other bees go. Like when the queen abandons a hive for any reason, all of her bees follow. Not one stays behind. They all follow. So there's something where you're learning to embrace something, and it's almost like it'll be an inspiration to others, especially with this joy. It's like she took her abuse and all the negative things of her life and turned it into something good with her writings. And so it's like that. By you embracing yourself, you're also teaching others how to embrace themselves. When this precious creature appears, it is a sign of auspicious opportunity. Create a honey jar to bless your community, family, or relationship. Honey is the nectar of the gods. It can add sweetness to situations. Add honey, molasses, jasmine, orange blossoms, or roses to a clean jar. Draw a bee with a heart around it on a piece of paper, along with names, places, or situations you want to bring sweetness to. Meditate over the jar for 7 days, asking to send the magic of bees to your loved ones. So that's like a little, little witch's spell for bee energy. And what it's kind of telling me is that it's like the negative aspects of our personality that we're normally told we're told they're wrong. It's almost like by embracing them, it adds sweetness to your life. It enriches it. So it's embracing, because it's like, what are you supposed to be embracing with this Five of Swords? And you're supposed to be embracing the sweetness, which is, what was the light attributes? Being charming, loving beautiful and luxurious things, being a muse. That's the sweetness. And maybe we've been made to guilt. And when I say we, I mean Libra energy. Maybe you've been made to feel guilty about certain aspects of yourself. And you know what I am also hearing is, I'm sorry, hang on. With the karmic relationships being in the shadow attributes that I found with the Libra and Lilith energy, or Lilith and Libra, is like, maybe if you've had a lot of karmic relationships, I think you're supposed to heal that karma by putting sweetness on it, by not being a victim anymore or not victimizing others anymore. Put a sweetness on it. Because, in karmic relationships, we can do those things. We can be a victim and we can also victimize. So it's like you have to forgive those people that have done those things to you, and you have to forgive yourself for doing those things. And that's really hard, especially if someone has done something monstrous, or we've done something monstrous even. My right eye is getting really blurry, so I feel like there's something. It was almost like, as I was saying that, it was like something that you don't want to see. It was like shutting my vision off. It's like something you don't want to see, something you don't want to do. And with the knife, it's almost like you have to kill it. And you have to kill the negativity. You don't have to kill the memory. You don't have to kill, anything. You just have to kill the negative viewpoint. And I'm not saying that, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. You don't ever have to invite those people back into your life or be asked to be let back into someone else's life. It's just the forgiveness is the only way to move forward, and that's how you're going to pick this lock. That's how you're going to get through that door before it completely grows shut. Okay, Libra. This has been your reading for October. I hope that it resonated. If it did, you can like, comment, share, subscribe. And I thank any of you for being here today, any of your guides that were present, any of my guides that were present, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.